Hello everyone, a warm welcome to you all from SGT University. I am Kanishka Raheja from the Faculty of Allied Health Sciences. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the logical design of Internet of Things, under which I will cover communication models and communication APIs. When we discuss about the logical design of Internet of Things, we need to understand the following terms in which the logical design can be described. These are functional blocks, communication models, and communication APIs. We discussed the functional blocks in our previous lecture and will be discussing the rest two terms in this lecture. Let's come to the IoT communication models. There are varieties of communication models as shown also. Let's discuss first about the request response model. Request response model is communication model in which the client sends request to the server and the server responds to the request. When the server receives a request, it decides how to respond, fetches the data, retrieves resource representation, prepares the response, and then sends the response to the client. Request response is a stateless communication model, and each request response pair is independent of others. HTTP works as a request response protocol between a client and server. A web browser may be the client, and an application on a computer that hosts a website that may be the server. Its example, a client that can be a browser submits an HTTP request to the server, then the server returns a response to the client. The response contains status information about the request and may also contain the requested content. Next we come to the publish-subscribe model. Publish-subscribe is a communication model that involves publishers, brokers, and consumers. Publishers are the source of data. Publishers send the data to the topics which are managed by the broker. Publishers are not aware of the consumers. Consumers subscribe to the topics which are managed by the broker. When the broker receives data for a topic from the publisher, it sends the data to all the subscribed consumers. Third one is the push-pull model. Push-pull is a communication model in which producers push the data to a queue and the consumer pull the data from the queues. Producers do not need to be aware of the consumers. Queues help in decoupling the messaging between the producers and the consumers. Queues also act as a buffer which helps in situations when there is a mismatch between the rate at which the producers push the data and the rate at which the consumer pull the data. Last one is the exclusive pair model. Exclusive pair is a bidirectional, fully duplex communication model that uses a persistent connection between the client and the server. Connection is set up. It remains open until the client sends a request to close the connection. Client and server can send messages to each other after connection setup. Exclusive pair is stateful communication model and the server is aware of all the open connections. So this was all about the communication models. Let's come to the communication APIs now. Generally, two types of communication APIs are used. They are REST-based communication APIs and WebSocket-based communication APIs. First, we discuss about the REST-based communication APIs. Representational state transfer, that is REST, is a set of architectural principles by which you can design web services and web APIs that focus on a system resources and how resources states are addressed and transferred. REST APIs that follow the request-response communication model, the REST architectural constraint apply to the components, connector, and data elements within a distributed hypermedia system. The REST architectural constraints are as follows. First is the client server. The principle behind the client server constraint is the separation of concerns. Next one is the stateless. Each request from client to server must contain all the information necessary to understand the request and cannot take advantage of any stored context on the server. The session state is kept entirely on the client. Next is the cacheable. Cache constraints requires that the data within a response to a request be implicitly or explicitly labeled as cacheable or non-cacheable. Next we have the layered system constraint that constrains the behavior of components such that each component cannot see beyond the immediate layer with they are interacting. Next one we have the uniform interface constraint that requires that the method of communication between client and server that must be uniform. At the last we have code on demand. Servers can provide executable code or scripts for clients to execute in their context. This constraint is the only one that is optional. After the REST-based communication APIs, we have the WebSocket-based communication APIs. WebSocket APIs allow bidirectional full duplex communication between clients and servers. WebSocket APIs follow the exclusive pair communication model, unlike the request-response model such as REST. The WebSocket APIs allow full duplex communication and do not require new connection to be set up for each message to be sent. WebSocket communication begins with a connection setup request sent by the client to the server, which is called the WebSocket handshake request and response communication. So today in this lecture we discuss about the logical design of Internet of Things. In our next lecture we will be discussing some other concepts related to Internet of Things. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.